all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy. I am out here in front of the garden today to give you all another garden tour. So we are zone 5B, 6A. If you're in our growing zone, you know this summer has been kind of dry, so some things in the garden are thriving, other things are not. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all how everything's doing in the garden, what we're harvesting, what we're planting, what's producing, and all of that. And if you're in the same growing zone as us, that kind of gives you kind of an idea of, you know, what you can be doing in your growing zone. So without further ado, here's a garden tour. So the first thing that I want to show you all is the sunflowers are blooming. Check out these. There's a bunch more everywhere, all different colors. So these that are actually blooming right now are volunteers. So a volunteer is a seed that has dropped from plants that you have had in previous years. So any of the sunflowers that are blooming right now are all volunteer sunflowers, and then all my other sunflowers that are still growing, those are all the sunflowers that I started and planted this year. So all of these sunflowers in here are volunteers. So all the colors and varieties are all surprises because nature planted them. I did not, and it's a really cool, fun little surprise. So these scarlet runner beans, which you can see these lovely red flowers, they are starting to grow actual beans, so that's really exciting. These are supposed to have really beautiful seeds when they dry. So as you know, their name is called a scarlet runner bean. They have a really beautiful bean seed, so I'm excited to see some of these. And these are also edible as well, not only beautiful, so I'm excited to use these and then also collect the seeds as well to use and save for next year. So the peas are actually starting to slow down for the season. So these, as you can see, you know, they're starting to get yellowing and they're starting to slow down. A lot of the peas, they're starting to, you know, form. So I'm going to let these go to seed so I can save some for next year to replant. And then I'm going to be taking these plants out and then replanting, because if I go ahead and replant right after these are done, I will get another harvest of peas for the season. So this beside me is actually milkweed, and this I have in here for butterflies mainly, because milkweed is known for monarch butterflies. The monarch butterflies will come lay their eggs on here, and then the caterpillars will eat the milkweed and then form chrysalises, and then beautiful butterflies will emerge from there. So these are mainly for butterflies, but if you can listen and hear, there's tons of honeybees all over these flowers right here. So this is attracting pollinators to the garden, which, like you all know, pollinators are very important for your garden so that your other plants that actually need to be pollinated to bear fruit or vegetables, you know, this is calling the pollinators into your garden. So plants for pollinators are very important. Alright, so as you all know, I had tons of poppies in the garden last week. Well, a lot of them are about done flowering. So this here is just a basic, you know, decorative poppy. You can see the size of that seed pod right there. Well, I want to show you the size of a seed pod of a bread seed poppy, because they are huge. So, alright, basic, and then bread seed. I'm going to get you closer to check this out because this thing is crazy. Look at the size of that thing. So huge. Crazy, crazy. Alright, so right here we have a bunch of different brassicas, and I have Brussels sprouts right here in the front. and I'm starting to see little tiny, I don't know if you all can see from there, but little tiny Brussels sprouts, especially on these purple ones here. Here's another purple one right here. Tons of little baby Brussels sprouts covering these. Alright, so these potatoes here, as you can see, they are all yellowing and flopping over, which means that the plants are dying. So the potatoes are pretty much ready to be dug up. So I will be harvesting those this week, so be on the lookout for that video. Check out these two different colored sunflowers. So this one here is like a chocolate cherry sunflower, really beautiful, dark, rich cherry color. And then I have, it's like a pale whitish yellow, so really pretty. The contrast, especially, it's really cool that these both are right next to each other. Those are really beautiful. Alright all, I am about done showing you everything here in the kitchen garden, so we're going to go and head over to the second garden. Here we go. Alright, so over at the tomatoes in the second garden, so this row right here has tons of cherry tomatoes. Can you all check those out? Check those out. These plants are covered in cherry tomatoes, and these are all like heart-shaped tomato varieties. Really cool. I also have yellow pear tomatoes in here. Let me see if I can find some of those for you. Right here. Yellow pear, cherry tomatoes, super cool. Check out how crazy huge these cabbages are. Look at this, is all one big cabbage right here. And check out the rest of them. Look at all those cabbages. Crazy huge. So here on the big slicer tomatoes, I'm actually starting to see some big tomatoes. So that is super exciting. Alright, so over here I have mammoth sunflowers, and as you can see, this one is almost as tall as I am, and I planted these, maybe a month ago, and they are crazy huge. And this one behind me is already like a foot taller than me, and there is definitely no signs of blossoms anytime soon. So these are going to grow a couple, 2, 3, 5, 10 more feet, who knows. So crazy huge sunflowers over here. So obviously I have some tomato tying up to do because this plant is falling over, but check out these ox heart tomatoes, doing super good. I have to show you all these fall gold raspberries. They're doing pretty good over here, and they're really good too. I have to show you all the size of this dill. This dill volunteered, and it's huge. I'm pretty sure it's taller than me. Look at this dill. That is some crazy dill. I want you all to check out the popcorn. It's getting crazy tall. They say knee-high by the 4th of July. Well, my knee's down here and the corn's up here, so I think we're doing pretty good. Alright, all, I've been waiting for this moment for a while. So last year I tried planting roses, and we had this crazy thing called gypsy moths, and they ate my roses down to nothing. So this year I got a couple more roses, hoping for the best, and I officially have roses. Look how beautiful. I'm so happy. Alright, so over here at the fall tomatoes, they are starting to do pretty good. So, like I said, we haven't had much rain. It's been pretty dry this summer. So, these aren't growing as fast as my tomatoes usually do. Like my spring tomatoes, because they usually get, that really nice spring rain. Well, these are planted in the summer, so they're not getting all that wonderful spring rain, so they are growing much slower, but they are nice and green, and I had a couple of them that, you know, not looking so good, but quite a few of them are doing pretty well. So I'm hoping for a good harvest of fall tomatoes. Alright, I have to show you all my grapevine because this grapevine I got on clearance for $1 a couple years ago. And I have grapes, which is super exciting because I didn't even know if this plant was going to live because it was dying and on clearance for $1. Okay, I have grapes, and there's like grapes all over, so super exciting. Alright, you all, check out behind me all the cut flowers. They are growing like crazy. So I have rows, so I have rows of sunflowers, rows of zinnias, and you know, they keep going back and forth, sunflowers, zinnias, sunflowers, zinnias. And then I'm also going to be planting some celosia and some amaranth and a couple other things like status and straw flowers and all of those things, but these are growing crazy good. Alright, all, I have to give you all an update on the watermelons because I'm sure you're all wondering how they are doing in this little mini greenhouse. Well, check them out. They are vining like crazy. They have probably tripled in size. Look at this. They're doing super good. Alright, all, I'm over here at the big greenhouse high tunnel and I'm about to show you how the raised bed is doing in here. But I had to show you this crazy thing real quick. So check this out. This is a poppy, and this actually reseeded from some flower pots of poppies that I had, and this is actually a breadseed poppy. But so this is just growing out of the side of the greenhouse, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go check out the raised bed in the greenhouse. So it's the time of year where the greenhouse raised bed is starting to look like a jungle. So as you can see, these are all getting crazy huge. So eggplants behind me, there's tomatoes, and there's cucamelons vining all over the trellis back there. And the peppers in the back are getting crazy huge. Alright, I want to show you all some of my seedlings that I'm going to be planting out in the next couple days. They're all growing like crazy in here as well. Alright, so I have some straw flowers here and some asters, and there's some celosia right here, and then snapdragons, and I have a few cosmos started right here, and then some more cut flowers, some more snapdragons. So quite a few things still growing in here that I'm going to be planting out pretty soon. So I'm sure you all remember when I was burning the holes in this black fabric to plant squash. Well, the squash plants are getting to be a pretty good size, so I'm pretty happy with how this is going. Alright, so out at the big garden, take a look at this sweet corn. This is looking really good. And then check out the wheat. So, as I told you all before, I was going to be growing wheat berries to grind into flour. Well, we are getting some wheat, so that's pretty exciting. So, the cut flower gardens are growing like crazy. Look at all these bachelor buttons. There's so many. And then behind me, of course, is borage. And then there's tons of zinnias and cosmos and sunflowers and a whole bunch of other things over here. I'll take you over to some of the other flower gardens. So over here in this flower garden, there's getting to be quite a few big daisies over here, and then all the gladiolas are about ready to start sending up their flower stalks, so I'm getting pretty excited for that. Okay, so check out all of this echinacea behind me. So much echinacea. super beautiful. So echinacea, as you all know, a lot of people use this for echinacea tea. So there's a lot of benefits to growing echinacea, and also a lot of butterflies, bees, hummingbirds, all of those kinds of things love this as well. Alright all, thank you all for coming on this garden tour with me today. So keep an eye out, because I try to do weekly garden tours just so you know what's grown in the garden, what's growing, what's producing, what we're planting, what we're harvesting, and all of that, so that you all know for your growing zone, kind of so you can compare. Alright all, thank you all for watching. Have a blessed day.